Show you how to use our FlashPrint software for our FlashForge printers. So you're going to want to make sure first that the machine type is correct. So up in the top bar where it says print, you can choose machine type. We want the FlashForge Adventure 3. That will give you the right build plate size in here. So a couple of things that are happening. So let me first load a project. So you could click load. And if you downloaded something from Tinkercad, Onshape, you should be able to find it in your downloads folder. So I'm going to scroll through and find one. Okay, so I just uploaded a past student file. This is part of a Hinge project. So you can see that it places it in the middle. So if I click move, I would be able to move them around. And since these pieces were exported together, they're stuck together. But sometimes you might want to separate them. So there is this cut option, where if you click that, I like to choose which plane I want to cut on, because then I know for sure it's a straight line, all that kind of stuff. So if I click X, that goes between the two, which is what I would want, but maybe you need to cut a different way. So this cuts through them, so you can kind of just click and see what it does. And then you want to make sure that it's not like cutting into one of them. You can just drag it around. You just want it right in the middle. I'm going to do start cut, and it separates them. So now I can select and move these around independently. And I can rotate them independently too. So in rotate, right now I was on that pin, but I can rotate it however I want. I can click on the other part and rotate it. So maybe I want it that way. So that looks pretty good. So rotating, scale, sometimes you might need to scale different things, and you can do that in here as well. And then once you have it all set up, if you need supports on something, so like I might need supports inside of there, I can click supports. In support options, you can choose what it's like. I like the linear supports. I find that those work the best. And I can then click OK, and then click the A for auto supports, and it'll figure out exactly where it needs it. So there's supports in there. Oh, and it looks like that piece is not on the build plate. So I'm actually going to clear the supports and back out and click on that part and go to move and put it on the platform. That way I won't need support under there. I want it on the platform. So let's try that again. The support options should stay the same. I don't have to do anything else. I'm going to click the A, and there is the supports that it needs inside of that little pin holder. So I can go back. It'll keep those supports in there, and I'll go to print. So when you go to print, you're going to want to make sure it's on our correct printer. PLA, you want your supports enabled if you needed supports on it, and then we always want to have a raft enabled as well. That just helps our prints stick to the build plate better, so you want to make sure those are enabled. Standard resolution works fine, and then you should be able to keep all of the options as the defaults of what is set up in there. If you get to more advanced things, you'll learn how to adjust those, but most of the time you're going to leave those as is. Click OK. And then it's going to slice the model and get it all ready. So you can see in the print preview what it looks like. You can see inside. It gives you an estimated print time and how much material. So then from here, you're going to do export the G code. And you'll give it a title. And tell it where to go to. So if you have a flash drive plugged in to your computer, you'll want to just choose your flash drive and put it on there so you can bring it right to the lab, and click save, and then it should be on there. So for the advanced print settings, especially in past Engineering 2, Engineering 3, Capstone, you might be playing around with some of these in here for layer height, how many shells, how solid the infill is, those would probably be the three that you would play with the most. Speed, temperature, that's really going to affect the quality of your print, and these that are set up in there are what you're probably going to want. So if you are needing to do a smaller layer height so you get more details, or you want more shells, or to be more solid inside, or a different fill pattern, to try and play around to get your prints that are a little bit more advanced to work, that's where you would do that. And then you can always restore the default. It gets it back to that base. If you're doing something simple, or you don't really remember what it used to be at because you've been playing around with it a lot,